Theo Vaughn has built himself a tremendous podcast platform. And yes, the fact that he had Trump on definitely accelerated his growth to an exponentially high level. The fact that he is friends with Rogan has also helped him grow exponentially. But I got to tell you,
I never heard of him till like that clip you showed a few weeks ago or whenever that was.
He is a good dude. He has a lot of good, and listen, not everybody's going to agree on everything politically. You have to accept that reality.
But is he a comedian? Is that what it is? He's a comedian? Okay.
He is a comedian.
He's a comedian with a podcast.
Yes, and a very good one, I might add. And so who did he speak with the other day? Perhaps the best congressional representative we have in the U.S. right now.
I feel like Israel is a fair ally. Are they a good ally for us?
Well,
or is that too general of a question?
Well, I think it doesn't matter. Like, there's no big, giant, Great Britain lobby. There's no Australian lobby. There's no German lobby.
Oh, the other countries don't have them.
No, not like this. This is singular. This is unique. I mean, if you're an ally, why wouldn't we work with you? Why do you have to convince us that you're our ally? Why do you have to basically go into every congressional office and convince them? And it's because they want to keep the money flowing.
I mean, isn't that everything, guys?
It's a really good response. You know, if they're your ally, why are they there? And no other country has that. Can you imagine if there was the American Chinese Political Affairs Committee, Public Affairs Committee? Are you kidding me? Oh my God. And it's just true. There's no other country has that. What they have are called embassies and diplomats and liaisons and different people that represent those countries. We have that, but they don't have full-scale lobbying organizations at the multi-billion-dollar level that they own everything. That's just not a thing.
Exactly. And that's why Massie, and I tell you, you know, the big difference, Jen, between Massie and Rand Paul, Massie has, with all due respect to Rand Paul, Massie has real dynamic personality. He is
looking fine. And I know that there will be moments when I hate on him for whatever it is that he's doing.
Sure.
But he and I are not on the same page in a lot of ways. That's for sure.
But you know what? He's not dirty. And to me, in the day and age that we're living in today, we need to be supporting individual leaders, because that's what Thomas Massie really is. He's not a politician. He's a leader because he actually goes against the grain. You saw the graphic that they put up of him with AOC, Ilhan, and
I know.
It's like he is, when somebody does that, then you know for sure he's doing the right thing.
But what's so beautiful about it, and you could tell everything about him, and this is why I like him, he has zero fucks to give.
He really does. And listen, as sad as it is to say, but him losing his wife, who I believe was either his college or even high school sweetheart. I mean, he's in a whole other world now. It's like he's been reborn or something, where he's just like, okay, I've crossed the bridge where I'm just never going to question.
But I appreciate, and the other thing is he's consistent. He's consistent.
As consistent as anybody in politics. He is more consistent on Israel's genocide of the Palestinian people than Bernie and AOC are.
And they've got a good return on their investment. I mean, we send more foreign aid to Israel than to any other country.
Yeah.
They're, like 10 million people or something.
Yeah, I think
Tennessee, I don't know the population in Tennessee, but it's probably about, on that order.
Yeah, I think this year they said we spent like $12 billion, but that's not actual dollars. It's in military aid, right?
Yeah, it's it's dollars
like
that comes out of the Treasury. Yeah, but it's not like we give them. It's a gift certificate that's redeemable at Lockheed Martin and your local Raytheon.
That's what people don't understand when they talk about us giving money, that our tax dollars are going to Israel. Well, we know it's not our tax dollars. Tax dollars don't fund spending. But more importantly, most of what you're thinking of in terms of where the money is going to shareholders of Lockheed Martin and Raytheon and Boeing and Northrop and whoever, right? And Palantir. And so that's where the money is going. He's on fire now.
Okay, got it. So that's kind of how that works.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. why do they have this carve out that's just for them? Like what do we get from Israel, do you feel like?
Headache.
We got a lot of countries that hate us.
How can you not like that? How can you not like that? How can you not? So endearing.
And the other problem is that you really don't have anybody else except maybe Rashida Tlaib who would just come outright and say the exact
Nobody
same
says
thing.
this. Yeah.
Like that is the
We've
gift.
got a lot of countries that hate us.
Yeah. I mean, as direct and as clear as you could possibly be.
It's one of the things we get.
Well, especially right now with this stuff in Gaza, I think it's one of the worst PR campaigns I've ever seen in my life. If they're even, it doesn't make any sense to me. It's like, I just don't, it gives their government this extremely evil look to me, and I think to a lot of people,
Well, rough numbers, there are 2 million people in Gaza and 50,000 have been killed.
He's off there. We'll get it. We could get into that at another point. Yeah. I mean,
maybe
that's way off.
Stuff. But even 50, but you see, here's the thing. The difference with somebody like Thomas Massie versus, let's say, a Zionist, Thomas Massie is talking about 50,000 people that should be alive. Whereas a Zionist defender of Israel and its actions would say something along the lines of, it's only 50,000. Stop saying it's 400,000.
Again, and I still find that upset. If it were, here's the thing. If it were 50,000 Israelis, can you fathom? Fathom. Because all they focus on is what they accuse are 1,200, which we also know is a bullshit number. So, the numbers are just show you the difference between what one Israeli life is worth. I think it's like 1 to 1,500.
Yeah, it's some ridiculous
Palestinians.
Same number. But Grammy, also, if many people don't know this, Thomas Massie, by every metric, is the most green politician in all of Congress. That's quite a feat for somebody who apparently is super conservative, right-leaning bullshit. So let's just stick with the facts.
It's 2.5%. Like they've killed 1 in 40 people in Gaza. If you did that in the United States, if you did 2.5% of 350 million, it'd be almost 10 million people dead in the United States. Everybody in Gaza is at this point related to somebody who's been killed. Like,
can you believe that?
I can't believe he's saying it. And this will forever, this is why I can see him leading a segment, leading a segment of the Republican Party where it does split with the neocon evangelicals and the libertarians and people like him splitting. And I could see him being somebody that a lot of people that are anti-war people would support. And that's where I think we could potentially have this is the movement. Like that could be it.
Yeah, there's going to be ones like I said, I hope Clint Russell runs for Congress against Randy Fine. And we will support Clint if he does.
Yeah, wanker tanker, he is a Republican. And again, there are many, many things where I would not agree with him. But the thing about him not being corporate is that he's reasonable. So as of right now, he represents a conservative district. And if you represent a conservative district, then you should represent them in a conservative fashion. And I have no problem with that, right? That's why I like him. I have respect. But in terms of, I think he'd be a reasonable person to work with, being that he's consistent and does things based on science and facts.
Agreed.
At least the first cousin you had killed. And then if you say how many have been maimed, it's probably 3 or 4 times that. So everybody in Gaza knows people who've been killed and maimed.
And we're supporting it, right? That's also the part that makes it really tough sometimes to just be a person. It's like our tax money is going towards this. But I just hope that people in some of these other countries know that.
We need to get Steve on with this guy like ASAP. This guy needs to, because it drives me crazy when people with really big platforms, guys, tax dollars don't fund spending. That's not how it works. Stop saying it. Words matter.
Massie's guilty of it too.
I know.
But you know what?
He needs
Just
an
about
MMT education.
But just about every last one of them is. Now, if you want to say that that our spending in America is out of control, I would agree with you. But if you're going to say it right. Don't say that it's the taxpayers' money, so we have to cut all the taxes. No, the government spends the money and we get taxed. You know what the dirty little secret is, ladies and gentlemen, is that the rich avoid all taxes at all times as much as possible, and it makes it impossible for us to live. That's it. We live in a country where everything is upside down, and especially now.
You know, it's not regular everyday people who would want to do these things, you know, that it's like government's making these choices and it's corporate interests that make these choices. How would we stop it? Well, do we need this connection with Israel? What is it? No one ever explains what it's for, I feel like, right? That would help everybody have a much better understanding, you know, because it starts to feel like America is just a shell company, an LLC for Israel. That's what it starts to feel like a lot of times, you know? Do you feel like that's realistic, or do you feel like that's off base?
I wouldn't send him a dime. Like, that's my position. I don't think whatever we're getting isn't worth it.
Thank you. There's also a comment I want to address because I think this is good. Francesca Albanese said the Israeli response on October 7th was perfectly justifiable. It's their actions from October 9th on we need to question. Let me be clear about Francesca. She's a hero. She is one of the most amazing people that I've ever watched. Like, I definitely have like girl crush on her. So I'm gonna put that out there right there. I think she's brilliant. I think that she is calm and graceful and beautiful and handles shit in a way that I don't feel like I am not that graceful. So let me say this. While Francesca, being that she is a legal scholar, brilliant person, and in her capacity as a legal person needs to stay within guidelines and maybe still give grace in certain areas, I don't. And I knew on October 7th that this would happen exactly like this.